book lovers, welcome to my January wrap-up video. This was my first month of making book spreads in my 8x8-inch journal, something I have been looking forward to a lot. I listened to 11 books this month and 6 of those ended up in my reading journal. I don't keep track of every single book I read in this journal, but I have a monthly bookshelf in my bullet journal where I record all the books I read that month. And this is what January looks like. 3 of the books were new to me and the rest were rereads. The very first book spread I did this month is HAMARTIA by Scarlett. I have seen it recommended a lot, so I was thrilled when it came out in audio so I could finally listen to it. It is about an American rock star and a Korean K-pop idol, and I enjoyed it a lot. Definitely worth the hype in my opinion. My second spread is a reread of an old favorite, The Darkness Outside Us by Elliot Schrefer, which is possibly the best book ever written. I have been waiting to do this spread until I had a bigger journal since I wanted a lot of space for it. And it is set in space on board the spaceship, the Coordinated Endeavour, that is carrying 2 17-year-old boys on a mission. They have been selected as the representatives of the only 2 remaining countries on Earth, Federation and Demokratia, to go on this mission. The very first time I read it, I was a bit put off by the weird beginning of the story. I just didn't get it at all, but I stuck to it and was absolutely blown away. I highly recommend it. It's the Interstellar of young adult sci-fi. Next one is also a reread of an old favorite, Never Stay Gone by Bauer. It's set in Big Bend National Park in Texas, and nature is like the third main character of the story. The other 2 are Shane and Dakota, secret high school sweethearts who have been separated for a long time and are reunited when the grave of a serial killer is discovered in Big Bend, where Shane is a deputy. Dakota, now a Texas Ranger, is sent there to help with the case, and these 2 collide again. This is an emotional story about righting past wrongs and a very thrilling serial killer chase. Then we have For the Fans by Nyla K. It's a very hyped book, and I'm usually a bit hesitant about those, but I decided to give it a try. It is about 2 stepbrothers who hate each other, who resort to doing videos together for OnlyFans, so they can stay in college when the dad who is paying for both of them goes bankrupt. It is nearly 23 hours long, and I was like, how much story can there even be to this, honestly? What are they going to do for 23 hours? There was a lot of story, it turned out, and it wasn't at all the smut feast I thought it would be, even if there was plenty of that as well. Very positive surprise. Next is Game Changer by Reid, the first in her Game Changers series about NHL players who fall in love with other men. I'd say by now this whole series is an sports romance classic. It opens when the star hockey player of New York, Scott Hunter, walks into a smoothie shop and meets smoothie barista Kip. This is a super sweet, low-angst story, definitely worth a read or a listen. The second book in the Game Changer series by Reid is Heated Rivalry. This one rewinds the clock almost 10 years to 2008, when Canadian Shane Hollander and Russian Ilya Rosanov meet at the Junior World Championships when they are 17, and the rest is history. This is perhaps one of the most known and loved sports romances in the entire genre. We get to follow these two arch rivals through the years as their teams clash together on the ice and then they hook up afterwards. They both struggle with this but can't seem to stop, and over the years their hate-sex hookups deepen and they have a harder and harder time denying their feelings for each other. It has some absolutely epic scenes and is a very entertaining read or listen. That was the books I put in my journal this month, and the one who made it onto my book bracket as the best book this month is For the Fans. I only put new to me first time reads on here, otherwise the winner would have been The Darkness Outside Us, but that one won the whole thing by a long shot an earlier year. Now I'm going to set up my February cover page. I decided to go with a kind of fantasy fairy tale vibe this month. I have one of my printouts of an Oscar Wilde letter dyed with coffee. If you want to know more about how I make this paper, I posted a video a few days ago where I make a batch of coffee-stained paper. February is a great month for new releases this year. A lot of anticipated books are coming out in audio. And I am putting these 3 that I look forward to the most on my TBR, but hopefully I will get around to listening to all of them. That's it for my January wrap-up and February setup. I hope you enjoyed watching. See you soon!